I suppose 4 weeks ago we said a game like that would never happen again, and it did today, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely no excuses. We were appalling. It was said at half time it was by far the lowest point of the season, 5-1 at home at half time, and we're just not good enough. Apologise to the fans. It was a diabolical performance, as I said, to me, the lowest point of the season. Not making excuses. The 60 odd minutes that we gave a good account of ourselves on Tuesday just diminished, and that's what you get, I'm afraid, with youngsters. And we were very, very poor. It was incredibly hard to watch, and we're just not good enough.
Defensively, or
predominantly defensively. I mean, what were we? Sort of 17, 18 and 19, and a 23-year-old in my goalkeeper and my back four. I mean, they had a nightmare, and it happens with kids. As I said, I'm not here to make excuses. It was diabolical. It's been a horrible season. As I said, I'm not here to make excuses. It's been an awful season. We've made mistakes. I've made mistakes, but it all comes back to one thing. The position this club is in. The chairman's just told me we've banked £30 after today's expenses. We have no money, and as I said, no excuses today. The fans got every reason to be furious. I expect a lot more, whether you're 17 or 35, and we didn't get that today. Which I said, it's staggering. You were there on Tuesday night. What we did for 60 minutes on Tuesday night, and you didn't see that today. Bath were better at every single part of the field, from front to back, and we got what we deserved. And it's very sobering and very hard to take. But that's where we are at the moment.
Poor performances you can accept every now and again. Poor effort levels is something very different.
And tell me how we've done that from Tuesday. We came away from Tuesday very despondent about the result, but for 60 minutes I thought we edged the game. We turn up here today and we just don't get going almost from start to finish. I mean, there's the odd exception. I thought Dan Bennett had a really good game. He worked so hard. I felt very sorry for him. But players that did pretty well on Tuesday night for 60 minutes didn't do it today. And I said it's really hard to take. I've been in this job 3.5 years. We've been fighting fires the whole 3.5 years, but it comes down to the same thing ultimately. We have nothing. We lost our goalkeeper really at half time at Bromley, which is a real shame for him. So we've had to bring Dylan back today. We'd agreed to bring Charlie Granger back, but he got injured, so he's not available till next week. And but we don't have a pound to play with, and it's going to sound like an excuse, but I don't care. People have got short memories. I've been fighting fires here for 3.5 years, and I'm not that despondent because we've worked so hard. I've had over £1 million has gone into this place. 250,000 hard cash, another 750,000 security. I brought in another £200,000 into the club. We work so hard. I work so hard for this club. I'm despondent about the position. I apologise to the fans. But I've done it for 3.5 years on a shoestring. But I did say to everybody, you can't keep asking to do it. I mean, as of this week, my budget will be, give or take, £1,200 a week, and that's for everything. And it's catching up on us. And we've done an awful lot of good things off the pitch this season. We've won a fantastic award today for the community. We've signed a great new contract for the academy. We're looking into AstroTurfs. We're working with the council. We've got Reading in here. But this club has no divine right to be a conference club. After we've paid the expenses today, we've walked away with £30. Where does the money come from? I've created another £20,000 in player sales this year. We haven't been good enough from the first minute to the last. That's the hard facts of it. We had 350 odd people in here today, with a good away attendance from Bath, with 50-60 school of the week, and I'm incredibly grateful to our fans that have turned up here today, and they have every reason to boo, as they did particularly at half time. I've never had that in 16 years of management, and Lee is distraught, and it's not due to hard work. Yeah, we've tried too many players, but that's because we don't have any money. We try loan players, and we try players that come in on trial that say they'll play for £20. The hard facts of it are is we're not good enough, and this club is being built up again from the base. We pay all our bills. So much negative nonsense is written on forums, stuff that is just total rubbish. people think they know about CVAs, think they know about training, and the players read it because they're young. And it's hard. And I said, I'm not making any excuses. This year I've not been good enough, but I think I deserve a little bit more support from the fact that I've done this for 3.5 years here on a shoestring, and my heart is banging to this club, and I work incredibly hard for it, and I've put a lot into it, which I don't have anymore. We continue to bring other things in, and we've always tried to sell the club, and we try and sell the club, and Rob tried to sell the club and he gets criticised for that because it's the wrong person. We're doing everything in our power, but what we are doing is building the infrastructure of this club, and we will continue to do this. But this club has generally only had success in the last 15 years when people chuck an awful lot of money at it, and this club doesn't get any central funding, so every club's getting £1,000 a week more than we do. We have sponsors that I think contribute, I last heard, £166 a month. Where do they think the money's coming from? If it hadn't been from our trophy run, which brought in another 20-odd thousand, which I think ultimately has distracted us. I said, I'm bleeding hard. It's horrible. I've been doing this a long time, burning fires and trying to keep us going, and today's performance is by far the lowest moment, and that includes 7-0 here and 7-0 there, because we've done that in every other season, but we've bounced back. We might have had 2 or 3 bad results, but we can't seem to do that this year. And there has been, absolutely right, the criticisms aimed at me, too many players. You're right, there is. But when you've got nothing and you've got to try and bring better players in, we've really only let a couple of players go that were on any money, and 2 of them we sold for great money, which we have to bring in because we have to pay our bills. And not many people know, but we were audited by the FA not long ago because they couldn't believe how little money we're paying out, and the conference know what we're paying out, and we are doing things the right way. But it hurts, when we're talking about a budget that I had more than that in the combined counties. And money talks. The teams at the top of the league are the ones with money, and the teams at the bottom aren't, and we are just not good enough. And youngsters that you hope that would push on, and I thought CJ Fern was superb on Tuesday night, but he's a youngster and he's learning, and we want him to stay, and we want to build teams around the CJ Ferns of the world, and we'd like to bring more local players in, but we don't have a divine right, and we keep asking me and our support staff who all work for nothing, and the fantastic volunteers we have here, and the people that have suffered this year, and no one's suffering more than me. We've got to look back. We've been doing this for 3.5 years, and I said, sadly, we had a meeting, a big board management meeting before we played Lake Norwich in pre-season, and I said, we've dropped the budget again this year, and we're half of what Staines are. I know what Staines are. I deal with Staines. Obviously, we've done some business with them. We're half of what Western Supermare are, and we're about 20th of what some of the big sides are, and it does talk. And we've never replaced Alan Inns, and that's certainly hurt us. We desperately need some experience to help these youngsters grow. But all the negativity around from a very small portion of our fans doesn't help, when they're speaking nonsense. But our fans have every reason tonight to be furious, and it wasn't good enough. And make no excuses whatsoever. I'm genuinely very sorry for it. It's not good enough. I'm very upset. I've put so much into this and will continue to do until somebody tells me differently. And I know Rob is very upset about the situation, but we are where we are, and that money's not even enough. Who paid to bring in Jordan Robertson last week? It wasn't the club, it was me. The board have put in my money. We don't have anything, and it's caught up with us this year. There's no doubt it's caught up with us this year, and but we've got to keep believing that we've got a wonderful stadium, wonderful community team behind us. We've got an academy that's going to grow big time from June. We've got Reading in here. We're talking to the council. We're up to date with our tax, our rent. We're paying our bills, and we are progressing. But we look like we have to step down to grow because we have no divine right on an attendance that brings us £30 in. And I don't blame them for not turning up, because I wouldn't want to turn up what we showed out there today.
You've been very honest about matters off the field. On the field, where do you go from here?
Do you know what? Sometimes there's times to give players a rollicking. Sometimes you put an arm around the shoulder. Maidenhead drew, Hayes lost. So we're 7 points, but then look at our goal difference. You're 8 points. The problem is, where do you honestly think we're going to get the next win from? You know, we've got 6 games left to go. Do we roll up and die? Do I let some of the loans go and look at perhaps, you know, there's only really one lad at the moment from the academy, Nathan Chambers, who sadly has had a family bereavement today, you know, to look at. Do you keep playing the Adam Bryces and Daryl Saws of the world? Do we need to speak to players about what we're going to do next year? Of course we do. But there's all types of things that can happen. And I've just said to them, you know, right now, for the first time, I don't know what to say. You know, I need to take a deep breath. You know, it hurts. It really, really hurts. It's not hurting anybody more than it's hurting me. I'm distraught about it. And yeah, even when we've had bad performances before in other seasons, my trademark is the teams will work really hard and put in a shift for the Borough shirt. And today it was strange. It just seemed flat. And the warm up was good. The atmosphere was good. And it just didn't happen, and you know, we are liked. There's no question about it. And you know, we've got to look back and say this has been going on all season. This is not new, is it? You know, we've been here before all season, so we've tried. As I said, there is a lot of negativity around a very small area, because our fans, I think, predominantly, they want us to be self-sufficient. They want us to progress, and we are doing that. It's that small group that want to have a niggle and you know, a dig and talk, you know, stuff that they know nothing about, and it's, you know, it's all one-sided. And you know, there's the old brigade that still, you know, look at the position that we put ourselves in the club. We said that means we get no central funding. We're difficult to get sponsors behind, but the infrastructure of this club is growing. I mean, look at the wonderful things that's happened in the club shop today. She's got that roof up, Sue. I mean, fantastic job. And then you put it all into context this week with poor Kevin. You know, I wouldn't go as far as to say it's life-threatening, but he's going into hospital for 2-3 months. He's going to be out of work for a year. You know, hip completely coming out, and that man has put wonders into this club, as have the other volunteers, and it puts it into perspective for me. So, as much as I'm distraught about the performance on the pitch, this club is growing, and we've had to step it right back, and we're desperate, obviously, to bring more money in, and we are doing things the right way. But ultimately, I'm responsible for the team on the pitch, and it's not been good enough. But it's a case of regroup tomorrow and see where we are. But somehow we've got to claw back 8 points. And you know, I'm also very realistic with the players, and you'll get very long odds on us achieving that. But we have to see. There can be reprieves, there can be all these things. But ultimately, this club, you know, we're building from the bottom up, and we've got to continue to do that and not be too despondent. Cheers.